Warning: the following program includes graphic imagery and subject matter that may not be suitable for all audiences. Discretion is advised. The Holocaust, humanity's darkest chapter. Over 6 million innocent lives, men, women, and children, brutally extinguished simply for existing. You might wonder, how could such unimaginable horror ever unfold? The truth is frighteningly simple. It starts slowly, quietly, almost unnoticed. Today, America stands eerily close to repeating history, silently laying the bricks for another nightmare. Let's rewind for a moment, back to Germany. In 1933, the country was reeling from a humiliating defeat, its pride shattered, its economy in ruins. At first glance, life seemed manageable, perhaps even promising. But hidden beneath this thin facade was a seething rage, a desperate need to find someone, anyone, to blame. Germany's society at that time was collapsing under economic despair, with hyperinflation wiping out life savings and unemployment exceeding 30%. Political polarization grew severe, splitting friends, neighbors, even families. Moderation became drowned out by radical extremism. Violence erupted regularly in the streets. It was a fertile ground, ripe for authoritarianism. Now, consider America today. Our own nation is experiencing alarming economic inequality. Entire regions feel forgotten, left behind by globalization, technology, and systemic neglect. Political division has become dangerously intense, with citizens increasingly seeing their neighbors as existential threats rather than fellow Americans. Experts warn clearly. Democracy in the United States is now at its most fragile point since the Civil War. The echoes of Germany's tragic past are unmistakably loud and clear. In Nazi Germany, hate didn't rise overnight. It was carefully nurtured. It began with jokes, subtle stereotypes, whispers of prejudice. Gradually, propaganda seeped into everyday life, depicting Jewish people as threats, parasites draining Germany's strength. These hateful narratives laid the groundwork, ultimately enabling genocide. Today, America faces a disturbingly similar rise in hate speech. Conspiracy theories, once dismissed as absurd, now dominate mainstream media. Anti-Semitic attacks are hitting record levels. Violence against Asian Americans has surged, stoked by political rhetoric. Politicians openly demonize immigrants as invaders and LGBTQ+ individuals as threats. Just when we thought we'd gone as low as we could, Charlottesville delivered a stark reminder of how much hate still simmers beneath the surface. On the night of August 11, 2017, hundreds of white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and members of the so-called Proud Boys marched through the University of Virginia campus. Their faces lit by the eerie glow of cheeky torches, their voices unified in a chilling chant, "Jews will not replace us." It was a display so brazen, so venomous, even Hitler himself would have watched with sadistic pride. A modern echo of a past we swore we'd never allow to rise again. This wasn't a protest. It was a spectacle of hate, loud, deliberate, and unmasked. And it wasn't history replaying itself in black and white. It was happening now, in full color, on American soil. A warning not from our past, but from our present. The chilling chants of Charlottesville, "Jews will not replace us," should have been a turning point. Yet hatred continues to spread unchecked. Scapegoating was at the heart of Nazi Germany's strategy, blaming Jews, communists, LGBTQ+ individuals, and other minorities for Germany's failures united people through shared hatred. America today dangerously mirrors that same tactic, with immigrants, Muslims, minorities, and transgender communities relentlessly portrayed as threats to social order. Politicians exploit these fears, diverting attention from real issues and deepening division. democracy in Nazi Germany wasn't dismantled overnight. It was strategically unraveled. Laws enacted during emergencies steadily stripped away civil liberties. Courts became mere extensions of the regime, and checks and balances collapsed. Today, American democratic institutions face similar threats. Attempts to undermine election integrity, weaken judicial independence, and normalize authoritarian tendencies ring alarm bells.
Madam Speaker, members of Congress, pursuant to the Constitution and the laws of the United States, the Senate and House of Representatives are meeting in joint session to verify the certificates and count the votes of the electors of the several states for President and Vice President of the United States.
The January 6th insurrection vividly demonstrated democracy's vulnerability. If our safeguards falter, authoritarianism will swiftly follow. Nazi Germany silenced opposition through widespread surveillance and the brutal criminalization of dissent. Neighbors informed on neighbors. Criticism was swiftly and ruthlessly punished. Similarly, America today sees escalating surveillance, militarized policing, and restrictive laws against protest. Surveillance technologies grow unchecked, and when dissent becomes a crime, democracy suffocates and dies. And then comes the ugliest piece of the puzzle, the distortion of facts and the weaponization of the media.
I want you all to know that we are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake. A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people.
Nazi Germany mastered media manipulation, crafting a singular, unquestionable narrative by eliminating all dissenting voices. Today, misinformation thrives through echo chambers, algorithm-driven conspiracies, and relentless accusations of fake news. Americans are increasingly divided into competing realities, a chilling parallel to Nazi propaganda. When truth is lost, division triumphs. Paramilitary groups such as Nazi Germany's brown shirts violently enforced ideological purity and terrorized opponents. Today, America faces a rise of extremist militias, armed, emboldened, and openly defiant. Intimidation tactics, violent demonstrations, and events like the Capitol insurrection underscore a dangerous trend. History leaves no doubt. Unchecked political violence is always a direct path to tyranny. In Germany, the oppression was also bureaucratic and legal. Minorities stripped systematically of their rights through carefully enacted laws. Jewish citizens lost their jobs, citizenship, and ultimately their humanity through legislation. America today sees similar targeted laws: voter suppression, censorship in education, and criminalization of gender-affirming healthcare. Oppression hidden behind the facade of legality quietly spreads. History does not repeat exactly, but its patterns are undeniable. America's current trajectory dangerously mirrors Nazi Germany's early descent into darkness. We stand at a critical juncture. The choice is stark: actively defend democracy and equality now, or risk slipping irreversibly toward authoritarianism. The United States isn't destined to repeat Germany's fate, but neither was Germany until it did. Protecting democracy requires vigilance, courage, and decisive action. Speak clearly, stand firmly, choose democracy now. History's warnings echo urgently. Act today, or tomorrow may be tragically too late. If this video gave you something to think about, share it. If it taught you something new, give it a like. And if you want more stories that challenge the way we see the world, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.